Welcome everybody to the June Westbank Real Estate Investor Meetup. I'm excited for this one. By show of hands, whose first meetup is it? First meetup. First meetup. Good. All right, everybody give my hand clap. Okay, first meetup. You're in for a treat tonight. For my first time people, we do this every second Thursday of the month. Steve, raise your hand in the back. Also, Steve and I put this together to put people in the room that would normally never be in a room at all together. And here we are. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Very excited about tonight's guest. It took a while to persuade him to get here, a couple years, but persistence pays off. Listen, if you Google Hustler, Westbank, Louisiana, and click images, Winton Jackson face is gonna pop up, because if you need a new house renovated, this the guy to call. If you need something repaired, this the guy to call. If you need a cake baked, a cupcake, there's still a person to call. If you need things transported and just advice, just a listening ear, very resourceful. I'm happy here today because we able to share some of the conversations that he and I have on the phone with you guys today. And without further ado, this is first time on stage. For my first time people, for the people that's always here, let's give them a crazy Westbank real estate investor.
Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go. So, Win, first question, which you should already know, how did you even get started in real estate investing? Take it back.
Almost by luck.
Okay.
I started out, I always worked from high school, and I purchased my first home at 20. So that was really the start, which I didn't even know was the start, because fast forward, like purchasing the house at 20, when it was time to really start investing, I was able to, refinance, pull some equity out of it, and use that money to start the journey.
So tell us the story. So 20, I know at 20, I was way far from buying a house. So
Well,
tell
yeah,
us the story.
Okay.
How did that even happen?
Well, like I said, I like right out of high school, I kind of made up my mind that I wasn't really going to college, and so I say, if I'm not going to college, I really got to hit the ground running. So
Yeah.
I did everything. I worked 2 jobs. I pretty much did everything.
Yeah.
And just I was living on my own in high school at 17.
Damn.
I had my own apartment. So when I made 20, a house came up. I had my credit was decent because I had brought me a little used car. So when I made 20, I brought a car. I'm saying a house came up to where the numbers just worked. I was paying like the mortgage was like $30 more than what I was paying for rent.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
I was like, you know what? And my only criteria for a house was I just needed a 1-car garage to park my nice car and a space for a pool table. That was the only thing I told
At
the
20,
agent.
yeah.
And that's all I wanted. I wanted
Yeah.
to shoot a pool table and a garage. That's all I wanted. So I had that. And like I say, that's pretty much how it started,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that first house, what sparked your interest to turning it just from a place to live to a business on a flip, starting off with flips?
Well, actually, I never did. I mean, when I first started out, my goal wasn't to flip houses. It was always I always wanted to buy rentals. Like flipping houses wasn't even on the radar. So I wanted to buy my first rental. So and the first rental was a journey in itself. It was I was going through a process of planning a wedding at the same time, trying to pay for that. And I put an offer on a duplex. I wanted to buy this duplex, and the process just was taking forever. The paperwork just wasn't right. So it took like 3-4 months for that to go through, and it never happened. So I kind of like forgot about it, and another house popped up to where it was like a HUD home.
And all this on MLS?
All this on the MLS,
Okay,
right. So a HUD home popped up. It was a single family, and I ended up putting an offer on that, a cash offering on that. And at the same time, when that offer was accepted, the duplex deal came through.
Oh.
So now I got to scramble to get the down payment for the duplex, to still hold my end on the contract on the single family home, and all this going on while we're trying to pay for a wedding. So it was like, it was chaotic, but I made it happen, and just went from there. And once I went to closing on them, it was like I did everything to get them ready for rent too. I mean, when I tell you, I was just to back up a little bit. I was buying and selling cars, and that's when Craigslist was hot. I bought it on Craigslist. Like I had some old cars that didn't sell. I had like 3 cars, and I posted like somebody need a car. Like I traded a car to get some sheetrock work done.
Oh man.
Like literally I had a car that I paid like $800 for, and I got like $3,000 worth of sheetrock done for it.
Yeah.
I got some tile done for another car. It's just put a little cash with it, and I made it work. And that was the beginning.
So how old are you right now?
42 now.
No, not right now. I'm talking about back then, 20. So you're 21, 22?
Oh no. I was no. I bought my first house when I was 20.
Okay.
This was I probably 30, like 30,
Okay.
31. Yeah.
Okay,
When all
gotcha.
this happened. Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody get in an accident on the Westbank with a car with no insurance, it's your fault.
No.
It's an $800 car that was bought with a sheetrock.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not my fault.
So that was the rental side. So help me understand, you bought 3 units at one time, the duplex and a single closed at
Actually, went to
once?
closing a day apart from each other.
Okay. So
Yeah,
your
yeah.
first investment
property
deal,
brought 3 units at one time.
2 properties,
Yeah, 2
3
properties,
units.
3 units. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I actually still have both of them, right? All 3 units now.
So this is your first deal, so what did financing look like for you just getting started?
Right. The single family was a cash deal because I paid cash for that. That was what some of the proceeds from when I told you I refinanced when I first decided to start buying rentals. I refinanced the first house I bought at 20.
Okay.
So I refinanced, pulled some equity out because I got a deal on that way back in the day, and I used that, brought the cash, and then like I said, when the deal came through for the duplex, I had to make it work, and I made it work, and that was a finance deal through a bank.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to come up 20% down payment, and
What
I made the rest work for far as getting it rent ready.
what does the conversation look like? So for somebody that has equity in a single family house right now, what does the conversation look like for their refinance to use it for investment? Is that something you got to keep away from the bank? Or what that conversation sound like?
Well, the conversation's different now because when I purchased that house at 20, the interest rates was like 7%, even with good credit.
Okay.
So then when I refinanced it, the interest rate was 3.5. So I was able to refinance, pull $40,000 out, and my note go from at that time I had like 18 years left on it.
Okay.
Go from 18 years to 15 years, and my note only went up like $30 a month. So it was a no-brainer.
Okay.
Yeah, but you was able to go from 7% to 3%, cut your interest rate in half. So that was a no-brainer. But now it's like, I mean, I wouldn't recommend. I don't think I could do that same transaction now, because right now, I mean, if you brought 4 or 5 years ago, you might already be at 3-4% at your primary home, and refinance to pull something out to go up to 6%.
Yeah.
I don't know if the numbers will work like it worked for me.
Okay.
And like I said, it wasn't that I just was that smart. It's just happened to happen for me like that.
Yeah. And what did the bank look for you to be able to do that successfully?
Well, I always, like, from a youngster, my grandmother, I always kept this in my head. My grandmother always said, always pay your bills on time. Even if you pay the minimum, pay it on time. Don't never pay it late. And that stuck with me. So, when I was 18, she brought me to the bank. I opened up an account, and I brought a little used car, and I just paid it on time. Like I said, I always worked, always hustled, did everything,
Yeah.
So I paid it off early. So my credit was decent. I had a little credit card that I paid off on time. So when it was time to go get that, it was like I had the money in the bank. At the time, I had the money in the bank because I hadn't purchased the other, a single family yet, and it just happened for me. It was a duplex, and I think I paid $68,000 for it.
Okay.
So I was buying it right, and it just worked out for me. I always had a full-time job.
Okay.
So I was driving trucks then, so it was like I had income, and it was gonna be an income-producing property. So the bank just went on and did the deal. It was a no-brainer.
So it sounds like credit, the W-2 income, and liquidity made it a slam dunk.
And on that first deal, the first thing my banker told me, as a matter of fact, it was at Jefferson Financial. The first thing the banker told me, whatever you do, don't quit your job.
Wow.
Yeah, she said that's going. If you want to buy more properties, that when we look at it, it looks better, because even if the property don't produce, you still have income coming in to be able to pay us back pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So how did that? So that first investment deal ended up being 3 units. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So with that new information, what did the next deal look like?
Well, the next deal was just, well, at the time I was just thinking, you know what, I'm gonna just keep hustling, save up, buy another one.
Yeah.
But it took, I probably didn't buy the next property for about another maybe 3-4 years, because that was the mindset I had, you know. And I purchased another rental property then. It was a single family home. And after that, I kind of like I was kind of slowly putting the team together, and I didn't know I was putting the team together of
Yeah.
contractors. So once I felt comfortable, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to flip one. And
Yeah.
that's when the floodgates opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when the floodgates opened up.
So back then, what was your recruitment process besides the $800 calls on Craigslist? How else were you recruiting contractors?
Trial and error.
What you mean?
Like just word of mouth, just going through the good, the bad, and the ugly on my own dime.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That was just trial and error. Yeah.
And so what about now? Because that seems like contractors, that's going to be a challenge for real estate investors across the board. So today, what is your recruitment strategy for contractors?
Well, now it's like I feel like I'm to the point to where I demand more from the contractors. Like when I was green, I was like, I took what I can get. But now it's like, if you can't prove, I feel like a contractor have to prove his work to me, not me prove my work to him. So if you can't prove your work, I mean, we don't need to do business. You know, it's like, I mean, so basically, I need to see some of your projects you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to the fire for your time. And like, I know things happen. If you tell me this project gonna take 6 weeks, if it take 8 weeks, I'm fine with that. But if it's 6 weeks and we don't even have sheetrock up, it's like, you need to get off my job site. You know? So basically, like I say, do trial and error and just weeding them out and just, you know, like I say, just getting it done like that.
So
I done been through some bad ones.
So tell us that first experience with the very first flip. What was that experience like with managing that brand new team that you're putting together? So you only have a little bit experience from your first 3 units. Now this is a flip, which is gonna go through inspection and things like that. What was that like?
Believe it or not, the first flip probably was one of the easiest ones, because I kind of like just gave it to the contractor and be like, look here, he gave me a quote on it, the numbers worked, and he just pretty much did it.
Yeah.
And I think I got lucky because he was a good guy. I actually still use him to this day. And we got it done. And like, only thing about the first flip was, man, I fixed that house up like like I was gonna move the president in there. Man, it was like I think it was at the time, it was like the resale value was like 150,000. And man, I guarantee you, man, I upgraded everything in that house. I way over renovated the house, but it was a learning experience, and I made it happen, you know? So
What lessons learned from that?
Don't over renovate.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, man, because certain things you're not gonna get back. You're not gonna get a return on your investment. So it's like, don't over renovate. Always watch your numbers. The numbers, because it's like in the beginning, like you try to force a deal because you just want to get it done. But now it's like I don't force nothing, and always having a job to where I didn't need that income from the flipping the houses and the rentals to survive, the maintain my daily expenses was always a good thing. Because I mean, everything I made in my business from then, and which was maybe 11 years ago up until now, all went strictly back into the business. Because I always, like I said, I worked the truck. I had a W-2 job trucking.
Yeah.
I have my own trucks that was leased on to the trucking company I was running.
Yeah.
And I always did other stuff. So it's like everything I made in my business was able to go right back into the business. So I was able to grow fast.
Yeah.
And, you know, go that route.
Good.
Yeah.
When you say over renovate, if you can give an example for the people that's doing flips or somebody that's about to do their very first one, what's an example you mean by that? Because sometimes it could be confusing. Like, do I go with the 138 square foot or the 150 square foot? You mean like that, or
no,
you talking?
No, I mean
what's
like
the example?
material-wise. When I say over renovate, like if you look at the comps for the house you flipping, and all the comps in the neighborhood are selling just the max they selling for, and all of them have, say, every house have tub surrounds in it for the bathroom. and you go in there and put all custom showers in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I mean by over renovate.
Gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And when you said watching numbers, which numbers you talking about?
everything, your contractors of your material, because you gotta watch contractors will order 1,000 pieces of sheetrock when you only need 10, and they building their own house on the side with your sheetrock.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
it's like,
Okay.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed since I've been on the job sites watching things more, it takes less to renovate a house now. You know, it's just
Yeah.
you know. So mysteriously, the material went up in price, but I'm paying less because I'm using less because I'm watching it. You
Maybe
know?
they just got better.
Yeah, maybe so. You know,
Yeah.
hey, let's go with that one. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, and I'm glad you said that. So at this point, 11 years later, like what's the reason you still stay hands-on on the projects versus now that you have all this knowledge, you could hire a GC and just have weekly calls with the GC, but you still choose to be boots on the ground in the streets. What's the thought process behind that?
I think it comes down to me being a control freak.
Okay.
And just
Yeah.
it's like I feel like it's hard for me to give up certain tasks, you know. And I know I need to, but I feel like nobody gonna do it like gonna go as hard as I'm gonna go for myself.
Right.
And it's just I need to get out that mindset in a certain way, but that's just the way I'm wired, really, you know. Yeah.
And your numbers right now, what does that look like? So a deal comes across your table. What does your underwriting process look like mentally? So wholesaler send you an email, you looking through it. What factors or what numbers you writing down to see if you're gonna call them and actually go see it?
Well, the area,
Okay.
square footage. I don't really buy nothing with, unless it's 2 full baths.
Okay.
That's just my buying. Uh, and pretty much the area, the square footage, and as long as it's, at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath or up, I mean, I'm in a decent neighborhood, it's not in the war zone, I'll pretty much go look at it.
What was
And not in New Orleans. I don't really.
Orleans Parish?
Orleans Parish,
Yeah.
yeah. Orleans Parish. I don't really too much. I done had bad. And actually, I'm doing the duplex right now in Algiers.
Okay.
And man, it's just bringing up flashbacks from when I did my first. I did 4-plex in Algiers about 5 years ago, and I guarantee you that deal took like 5 years off of my lifespan. I'm
Wow.
telling you, oh man, it was during the time that New Orleans. It was when the permits, so when they got hacked,
Oh.
and COVID happened all during this one renovation. It should have took 6 months and ended up taking 13 months from the buy, renovate, and the sale of the property. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is square footage important?
It's just, I mean, you can buy, especially with a flip. If you're buying a flip, it's like if somebody see a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that's 1,000 square feet, you already know the bedroom's small. And then the neighborhood, everything else in the neighborhood that's going is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 1,400. If somebody on the market to buy the house, which one you think they're gonna want to buy? You know, who wants to buy where they master, where they only can fit a queen size bed in there and nothing else, pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
So I just think about all of that, you know.
Yeah.
What I want to buy if I was in the market, you know. Yeah.
And so once it passed your sniff test, as far as it being a good deal, fast forward now, like what does financing look like versus back then?
Now, pretty much, I pretty much self-finance all my deals. It's like because I always had problems with the bank taking their time, and I realized I was losing deals with the bank, and so the deals I put offers on for cash, I got all of them. So I was like, I need to figure out a way how I can do cash offers on most of my deals. You know? I still do financing here and there from stretched thin for as cash, but I said I needed to. I said about 6 years ago I decided I needed to figure out how I could buy most of my deals cash. So that's when I really turned up the flips. I started flipping, and my goal was to do 2-3 flips. And use all the proceeds from that and buy a rental cash. Do 2-3 flips and buy a rental cash. And then once I got those 2 rentals cash, they rent it out. I go put a line of credit on them, and I become my own bank, and just repeat.
Yeah.
So, if you got 10 rentals all paid cash and you go get a line of credit on it, I mean, you pretty much your own bank.
Yeah.
You got access to the capital. I mean, basically all I do is send an email to my banker. I'm going to closing on this property tomorrow, tell them how much I need, and in 2-3 hours it's in my account. And you got access to the capital, but you're not paying on it every month.
Okay.
You're only paying on it if you're using it. If you refinance and pull the money out, like the BR, whatever, if you refinance, you paying on it every month. So if I don't have no deals, if I don't have no flips going on, I'm not paying on that money, you know?
Yeah.
So I only want to pay on it if I'm using it, you know? I pretty much became my own hard money lender.
And what you describing right now, the financing to where you could call a bank and borrow what you want.
Yeah, that's
When-
pretty much the line of credit because
Okay.
I have the line of credit backed up by the rental properties that's paid for. So I
Okay.
have the collateral, the rental property as collateral.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting at. So originally, the line of credit was just on your personal residence, the equity from when you bought the house at 20, right?
Well, no, that was I did a refinance for that one. That was to get the first property.
Oh, so that
Yeah.
wasn't a line. That
No,
was
that
just
wasn't
a
a line of
straight.
credit. That was just a straight
okay.
refinance. Right. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Because like I said, that's when it was worth doing it. I went from the 7% to the 3.5% interest, pulled the money out, and pretty much stayed around the same, note, and dropped a couple of years off the market.
So the line of credit you're describing right now, that's borrowed against what?
It's borrowed against rental properties.
Okay.
Like
All
I
right.
say, basically the strategy was to flip 2 or 3, take all the profits from that, and buy a rental cash. So rent that out and repeat it. And when you got rentals paid for cash, go get a line of credit on the rentals that's paid for. And, basically whatever banks loan you 70, 75% or whatever the rentals valued at, you just, like I say, pretty much become your own lender.
And you going with, for the lines of credit against the rentals, we going community bank, we going home money.
Local
Okay.
bank. Yeah, I
Okay.
use local banks and credit unions, Gulf Coast, Home Bank, Jefferson Financial. Well,
Okay.
pretty much Jefferson Financial pretty much to stop doing a lot of commercial lending, but I use Gulf Coast and Home Bank a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you go in, you have a conversation with the bank, and you asking them for what exactly? For a person that wants to set up financing the way you have it.
I'm asking them for a line of credit.
Okay, against the rentals.
Yeah,
Okay.
just straight line of credit. I mean, the banks, pretty much people got to understand, like, banks need you to make money. If they're not lending money, they're not making money. So it's like people think, oh, you're at the mercy of the bank, but the bank really, at the end of the day, the bank's at the mercy. As long as you have your ducks in a row, I always had good credit. Like I said, I had the W-2 job.
Yeah.
They see the rentals making money. They see my financial statements. I mean, everything lines up. It's like, I guess I was a good candidate for what they was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you say to the argument when you have, a bigger pockets or real estate disruptors and people say kick your W-2 to the job and live a life of freedom and all that? What's your thought when they try to push that narrative or that ideology?
Well, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but I mean, just do it in a timely manner.
Okay.
Like I say, I mean, I'm happy to say that last Friday was my last day at my W-2 job.
Okay, all
But
right,
all right.
But that's
But
11 years we
that's-
talking.
No, but that's 11 years of investing,
Right.
putting everything back into the business.
Okay.
And now I'm to the point to where I feel comfortable to where, when it comes to the point where your job is taking up 80% of your workday and is only 20% of your income, it's like, it don't make sense no more,
Okay. I like that ratio.
So like I say, last Friday was my last day, so I'm
Good.
So if y'all see me out here hauling somebody material from Home Depot or watch somebody call, just mind your business.
Yeah, I got you. So, hey, you talked about, I'm glad you mentioned ducks in a row. So talk to us about your tax strategy while you had the W-2, since you were dumping everything back into the business.
Yeah.
What was your approach or what was your thought process all throughout the year?
Man.
Because with the bank, you're gonna need those tax returns. So
Yeah.
like, what's your thought process on buying and selling and expenses?
Man, I didn't really have a tax strategy. Man, Uncle Sam was killing me.
Yeah.
From of course with what I'm saying, when you flipping houses, all that profit, they was killing me. I was paying so much taxes, it was crazy. But on the other side was that bank seeing all that income.
Okay.
They was like, when I applied for something, they was rubbing their hands together like, whatever you need. You know? And then as long as they got collateral, so it was pretty much an easy process once I got to that point. But that just came from just everyday grinding, and it wasn't always like that. But I knew in my mind to where if I was gonna grow, I needed to be able to close deals fast, and I couldn't wait 30 to 45 days for the bank to figure out their paperwork.
Right.
So, yeah.
So moving forward, what's the strategy? Now that you phasing out the W-2,
Yeah.
Because I know it's not the only income you have. You still have other businesses.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I still have my trucks.
Yeah.
You know, I still got a truck, a trailer. I still have my flooring.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it don't stop. It's just I just not going to punch a clock at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But for the last week, I still find myself up 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
going out, picking up materials. You know, so yeah, I mean, basically the strategy is just basically I figure if I can do 2 extra houses with those extra 40, 45 hours a week I have
Yeah.
a year, that more than enough make up for my income from the job, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of your other superpowers too, bro, is your approach to due diligence, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you might talk about a deal to me and you might tell me, oh, well, the Raptors was all.
Yeah.
How you even know that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, number one, how did you get to that? I know it's 11 years of experience, but
Yeah,
it still had to be a process.
Of course.
How do you get to the point to where your due diligence strength is where it is right now? And how do you go through and do due diligence on a house to make sure that this is a house that you're gonna actually buy after it passed the square footage and the area test?
Come back to my want control. It's like walking houses with, like in the beginning, walking houses with contractors, and he got his tape measure on one hip and he got me on his other hip.
Yeah.
So I'm asking questions, this, that, and talking to him and just soaking it all in. You know what I mean? Because basically, I don't need to know how to do it, but I need to know how it's done. So just seeing different projects, okay, yeah, those rafters need to be changed. Okay, well, why that needs to be changed? Just asking questions and just being present, you know?
Yeah.
And it came with a lot of long hours. Like I said, I go to work, get off at 5 o'clock, work on the houses from 5 to 11 o'clock, you know, and next day do it again. Wake up Saturday, off, running all day Saturday. It took a lot of, it take a lot of sacrifice, but I mean, I think at the end it'll be worth it, you know?
Yeah. So I guess step by step on your due diligence, what's kind of mentally your checklist when you first walk through the front door? So whether it's a pocket listing or a wholesaler, from sealing the floors, what you looking at?
Foundation first.
Okay.
Any cracks in the foundation, if it's level, the roof. It's like, I'm not worrying about cosmetics because I love walking in houses that's just trash, like sheetrock trash, roof leaking, sheetrock. I mean, just kitchen trash, bathroom trash, because I'm gonna gut all that out anyway. I don't like buying a house that's pretty much like need updating, but that's move-in ready. Because it's like, to me, I feel like I wanna pretty much gut it out, especially if I'm gonna keep it as a rental. I want to put all new mechanicals in there. I want to put a new AC unit in there, put a new roof on there, a new hot water heater. So basically, once you do that with one of your rentals, if you put the hardest thing after that is to put a good tenant in there. If you find you a good tenant, you shouldn't have to worry about nothing major on that property for at least 7 to 8 years, because you know your hot water heater, you got all new appliances. So it kind of gives you that gap of not needing no major repairs. Now, if you buy a house that the roof is in good shape, but it's 20 years old, and you get a little wind come through and rip some shingles off, and now you got a leak, it's like, you know, I like to pretty much start from scratch on, especially if it's a rental, you know? Yeah. And of course, on the flip, you want to start from scratch because everybody like to see new, you know? Yeah.
So on the due diligence side, mechanicals, high ticket items, you want to get those out of the way. You're not moving forward if.
And I know, like when I walk in the house, like I usually go walk a house to buy myself without the contractor, because I know I know my numbers now. It's just over time. So I go through there, walk it, get my numbers, and then I put an offer in on it. If that offer accepted, then I call a contract out, because I don't like wasting people's time. I don't want to be calling contractors out to 10 different properties, and I might only put an offer in on one. So once I put an offer in that is accepted, and then I call a contractor in, and he come in and do his numbers. And if his number's above mine, I tell him what my number's at, and we make an agreement. Either you want to do the job or not. Or if his number's under mine, we go with his number, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know,
For sure. So since your strategy, you got in the game for rentals from the get-go. So what's your management style right now? So 11 years later, now that you're full-time, it could feel like you got more time to answer the phone, or give it to tenants, or give it to handyman, but what has been your management style, especially with working a W-2 and doing flips, because you're self-managing, right?
Right. Self-manage.
Yep. So for the person for their first flip or the portfolio person that's still self-managing, what's your process?
The savior for me for self-managing my rentals is I have an older guy. He's like a jack of all trades, master of none, but like little minor sheetrock repairs, little small, like his trade is AC. He do AC work, you know.
Okay.
But any little knickknacks, tenant call me, I call him up. He go out there and go look at it. Now, if he can't handle it, then I call a contractor, and if it's a job too big. But basically, having somebody like that on your team, it's a lifesaver for me. Where I don't have to show up every time somebody call.
Yeah. And for the person with that first rental property, how you even find somebody that's reliable like that?
Ask questions. Yeah, but it actually this guy came from matter of fact from my sister. She on the second row right here.
Shout out to our siblings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, you just it came from a referral from her, and it's been, like I said, we've been me and him been rolling 12, 13 years now, Yep. So, and we still rolling,
So right now, the tenants still call you, so the process, they call you, you outsource?
They still call me, and depending on what it is. It's like some stuff, I mean, like if I have the time, I go do it myself, It's like, certain things I keep, like just little things that can help you, like if a tenant call you, AC not working. It's like certain things, just from me being on his hip, watching certain things, I'd be like, okay, well, go tell me if, perfect example, like when you called me, I was like, you told me about your AC. I was like, go check to see if if the fan's spinning, And they call me, oh no, the fan not spinning. So I go over there, I keep capacitors. Summertime capacitors always go out. I go over there, I learn change the capacitor, AC back running, they happy, AC, they call, between the call and the AC back rolling in an hour and a half, so they happy. If I had to call an AC man out, the call out charge might be $100, $150 just for them to come out to check it on the weekend. And it seemed like things like that always happen on a Friday night to a Sunday. It never happened Monday. You know what I'm saying? It always, you know that. We had this conversation already. So, you expect somebody, you want somebody to go out to your property on a Sunday at 5 o'clock, at 10 o'clock at night, you got to expect to pay them, And, I'm fair, but if I can go do it myself, I done got out the bed plenty of times and went checked on somebody's house, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't check that fan either when you told me about that. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean,
And I don't have any capacitors, so I took my hat off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I keep them. Once I seen that, and like I say, because most AC supply places are closed on the weekend. Yeah. So, like I said, on a Sunday, can't go get that from Home Depot. Right. I have them all sizes, what I'm saying? At my way, I keep them in stock. So guess what? Matter of fact, other people call me like, man, you got it this size? Like, yeah, come get it, Yeah, like I say, and that's why people always like, I call them for something, they coming because they know they can call me anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm with you, I'm with you. That's just the way I am,
Yeah. I'm a testament to that, for sure. So tell us about insurance right now. I know it's a challenge for a lot of us, and so your rentals, you got new roofs. That's a plus with insurance. Your flips, you put new roofs on them. So we know that that's a plus. What you're seeing right now with these quotes and what you're seeing that's helping beat down some of the quotes?
Yeah. I mean, insurance is high, but I look at the numbers as far as when it comes to insurance, because I look at some of my rentals, before insurance was jacked up, like 3-bedroom, the average, in some of the neighbors I have, the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath house was rented for $1150 a month. Okay. So basically the insurance jacked up. Insurance might be costing you an extra $250, $300 a month if you do the numbers, if you average it out for the year. And now those same 3-bedrooms getting $1,400 and $1,500 a month. So if you average it out, I'm getting the extra $350 a month in rent, and the insurance went up $300 a month. So, I mean, people crying about it, but if you buy right, I tell people all the time, you make your money when you buy, And I'm a true believer in that. So insurance hurts because it's taking away some profits. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not complaining like a lot of other people are. It's like, I feel like either you're gonna do the business or you're gonna go out of business. And going out of business for me is not an option. So just go with the punches, no matter what. I mean, if you're gonna invest in South Louisiana You got to be able to deal with hurricanes, insurance fluctuating. You know, you just got to be certain things. You just got to, you know, be able to deal with. You know, so.
And what
that's the way I
about
feel about
what about on the flip? So you got a buyer that's qualified. You have a new roof. You got new windows. The insurance come back, continues to price them out on the mortgage side. You've been able to come up with a way to try to still make the deal work when insurance has been the X factor for a buyer.
Well, I get quotes like when I'm flipping the house, I get insurance quotes before I put it on the market.
Okay.
So basically, if I get it under contract and the agent come back and somebody say, "Oh man, the insurance is too high," I'd be like, "Well, what your quote is?" And I look at my quote, and a lot of times my quote cheaper, and I show it to them. It was like, "Well, how you got this?" I was like, "I just call around," you know. It's like, you know. But yeah, I get quotes. I get quotes, you know, stuff like that before I even put it on the market, just for if not for nothing else, for my own information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you seeing personally right now as far as the market? What's the rhythm of the market right now on the flips?
The market good right now. I mean, for me, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody, but of course, this, you know, May, June, July, those 3 months, if I could buy 10 houses and hold all of them and list them in May, June, and July, I would, because that's pretty much everybody looking to buy it around those times. You know, people want to get settled in with their kids, what school they're gonna be going to in August. So it's like those 3 months is hot. You know, like I said, I have 2 under contract right now.
Okay.
And hopefully both of them will be closing before the end of this month. And both of them, one of them was on the market literally for less than 24 hours.
Oh,
and
wow.
the other one was on the market for not even 48 hours. Yeah, and full price offers. One of them actually went like 5,000 over asking. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like the market's good right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
And you just got to price it right. Like I said, you make your money when you buy it. It's like, and I always had that luxury of not having to force a deal by me having a job. So it's like, if I feel like the numbers don't work for me, I mean, I just don't buy it. But if you in the game to where you have to turn houses over because this your income, you kind of like, you might buy something that I wouldn't buy. The numbers might work for you, but it don't work for me. To each his own, you know? Yeah.
And when you say pricing them right, so what's kind of your strategy? So comps come back, stuff in the area is going for your 269s, 279s. Some people want to price a little bit under and start a bidding war. Some people want to price it, you know, right at it and try to wait it out. What's 2 properties in less than a week? What's your approach?
I'm impatient.
So what you mean?
I do my numbers, when I buy a property, I do my numbers to where I want the nicest house on the block, in the comp.
Okay.
But I want to be able to price it under the going rate. So basically, I got 2 things going for me. It's nicer than everything else, and it's a little cheaper. So basically, if they got 5 houses and 1 buyer, I want my house to be that 1 buyer pretty much. That's my strategy. Most times it works, sometimes it don't, you know, but for that's the mindset I go into a flip.
What's the pivot? What's the pivot when it don't? When you go 3,000 under what the value is, which I agree with that. I mean, you know for sure it'll appraise.
Right.
But when it does backfire, like how you pivot away from that?
What you mean by backfire?
So so days on market start creeping up even at the price that's under value.
Well, I'm a true believer in, if a house not selling, is either 2 things. Is either pretty much it's overpriced, because any house to sell, whether it's trash, even if you price it at $10,000, somebody will buy it probably. So, I mean, basically, if it's not priced right, it's gonna sit on the market, you know. Yeah. And I give it a little bit. You know, I had one house that sat on the market for maybe like 2.5 months, and I was ready to drop the price $20,000. I was like, just get it sold, because I don't even want to look at it no more.
Right.
But you know, the agent talked me off the cliff. You know, it was like, just wait, and being patient worked out, because we ended up getting, you know, we down like 5,000 and getting the sale on it. But I was ready to drop it 20,000 and be like, look here, highest bid, get it, let it go. I don't move on to the next. You know, like I said, I'm impatient when it comes down to that. You know.
Yeah.
But like I said, you make your money when you buy. So even if I would have dropped that 20,000, I still was happy walking away with what I would have walked away with. You know. Yeah.
So what does the team look like right now? So we talked 11 years ago. You were starting to build a team. So 11 years later, what does that team look like to have this machine rolling the way it's rolling?
Well, I have basically I have a team of contractors that I use just for flips.
Okay.
and I have some other guys that I use for my rentals, because with a flip, your finishing work is what people don't see what you do behind the walls. You can pretty much change every stud, change everything behind the walls. They don't see that. But if you got one little crack in your trim off, they're gonna be like, oh, they did shitty work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What else they cut back on?
Right.
So I got a crew that do my flips, and I got another crew that do my rentals. To where if something a little bit off on if the tile just a little bit off on the rental, I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal. So just just to have a crew like that, and now it's like I just brought a house from Steve Argy.
Yeah.
And, we working on that, and I got a new crew on that one, just trying them out through word of mouth, and it's working out pretty good. So I'm really trying to scale up, because I want to do more deals this year and next year.
Yeah. And since your wife here, I want you to tell that story about the house real quick if you can. But as far as when paying contractors, right? You told them that they have to prove their work to you. So as far as, I know some people do like holdbacks or they don't pay.
Yeah, I don't pay up front.
Yeah, so what does the financing look like with contractors?
Even if I have to buy the material to start, like I don't pay up front because I didn't letting the contractor get ahead of you on the work that I didn't been burnt by that too many times. Basically, when it's time to finish, if the work that needs to be done on the house, another contractor will charge you $10,000 to do it, and you only owe the contractor $3,000-$4,000, you behind him,
Yeah.
You in a bad predicament, because if he walk out on the job and you got to pay somebody else to finish it, now you in the hole.
Okay.
Basically, you got to just do your draws right up. You know what I'm saying? Just do your numbers. Okay, once this done, you get this. Once this done, you get this. And y'all agree to that in the beginning, so it ain't no misunderstandings. Why you trying to rip me off? Why you trying to rip me off? This what it is. We both agree to this, and this how it's gonna go. And like I said, once you get the right people around you, it's like it pretty much is no problem. Everybody who work with me know I'm gonna hold my end of the deal. That's just my reputation.
Yeah.
It's like if I agree to pay you this, you don't never have to worry about me saying, oh well, the money not there. When you do your part of the deal, your money there. It's no misunderstanding. But I want you to be the same way with me. And if not, we're not gonna be doing business together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your draws, it's like line item for what needs to be completed, then they get paid, or it's like percentage of the job?
That's getting that's a little bit too fancy for me. I'm kind of like I'm serious. I mean, I know a lot of people do it that way, but I'm kind of old school. To basically we come to an agreement to where I'll be like, okay, well, we gutting this house out. Once you finish gutting it, you can get, you got to pay your crew.
Okay.
And most of my guys, they won't get paid once a week. So, okay, once this done, okay, bam, we pay this. Once this done, this pay it. Once all the sheetrock up, float, that's done, you get this payment. And then once it's done, you get that payment. So yeah.
Gotcha. We're going to take questions with Steve in a little bit.
Yeah.
But can you tell a story as far as the house, the way you were able to connect with Steve?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a family house for my wife. My wife's grandmother house, and we was in the market to buy it, and we, for some strange reason, we just couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And we kind of like had just kind of forgot about it, And one day I get an email from Steve. It was like, I seen his house, and I sent it to my wife. I was like, you recognize this house? And she was like, yeah, that's my grandmother's house. And I was like, okay. I was like, I think it's for sale. I'm gonna look into it.
Wow.
And it went on, they had some stuff that delayed the process, and she kept asking me about it. I was like, man, I think somebody else got it. I can't get it, I don't know what to tell you. And she was a little pissed about it, but, so I told her, I guess somebody else got it. And it just so happened to where we actually was able to go to closing a day before Mother's Day.
Okay.
And I gave her the keys to her grandmother's house on Mother's Day. Yeah.
And a round of applause for Husband of the Year. I want to make sure you got Husband of the Year award tonight for sure.
Yeah. But I just feel like, whatever you put out there in the university, that's what you get back. And I do right by people, and things come back to me the right way. So I strongly believe that. So
yeah. Awesome, man. So what is it that the group could help you with? So what's next level for Winton, and how can we help you? And then we'll take questions from the audience.
Believe it or not, what I'm working on, I opened up another company. I call it Design and Build, basically to what, because a couple of people was asking me like, man, I want to have rental property, but I don't want to have to deal with it. I just want to have the income. So basically, I opened up the company to where I'm about to start. If somebody, like, say if they want to keep their job, if they want a rental property, I help them find it. I get the contractors to renovate it, and once we get it rented out, I manage it for them.
Okay.
So basically, all they got to do is see the numbers and be like, oh, if the numbers work for them, get it done, and it's they don't have to get their hands dirty in the whole process.
So turnkey.
Turnkey from the start to finish, and even after, I can get them in touch with you. You can get them a good tenant.
Yep.
Because I don't, and you get them a good tenant, and I manage it from them.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that plug. So for anybody working a full-time job that need tenants, make sure you talk to Emile for
for
manager.
sure.
Yep.
Exactly. Oh yeah, for sure.
Questions from the audience?
How long did it take you before, we're walking with the contractors, looking at the rafters, them seals, it ain't everything.
Oh yeah.
How long you had to stay on that hip that you said, hey, I can go in here and kind of see if this is going to work for me without wasting that contract?
I'm still on the hip. Still on the hip. It's like, you never stop learning. Like to this day, like, I'm still learning things every day. I'm still on the hip. So it's like, I'm not getting off that titty. I'm still on it. Oh yeah.
It's got a much better feel.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been doing the flip. It's been going on a while, but really within the last 5 or 6 years, I've pretty much been confident in my numbers, and just doing my numbers. And when the contractor come in and my numbers being close to his, just give you that every deal give you more and more confidence in your numbers. Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah.
Good question. Next question.
You mentioned letting go of control.
Yeah.
Right? Which you wish you could, but you feel like you can't really let control. If you could let control, let go of control, what do you think you could do over time?
That's a good question. If I couldn't let go of the time, maybe buy more deals. I guess it's just it works for me because it don't seem like it's a job, So I feel like I enjoy it. It's like sometimes certain things at the house, like when the house is done, like simple things like putting cabinet pulls on the kitchen cabinet when the house is done. I like to put my partner laughing because he already know what I'm about to say. I like to put my earbuds in, turn the radio on, and go in the house and put my own cabinet pulls on. Just that peace of mind. Turn my phone on airplane mode, nobody call me. And I could pay somebody to do that. that's simple. But it's just simple things like that. I get, that's my relaxation. So it's just, I feel like I'm just wired for it, And I don't feel like I'm missing out on, I never was I never wanted to go to the club. I never was that type of person. So it's like, that's just the way I feel. When other people might feel like that's work, I feel like, I'm good with it, So, yeah.
Hey, you spoke about rentals and flipping and renovation. How about new construction? You provide us your experience with new construction.
I actually haven't done no new construction yet. I have 3 lots I've been sitting on for a while, and that's the next step because a couple of people I deal with, they've been trying to get me over to the new construction world, telling me how easy it is, how much easier it is than renovation. But you know what I'm saying? Why try to fix something that's not broke? It's like if you got momentum on doing what you're doing, it's like just get better at what you're good at and just keep going. Yeah. But like I said, just in case, I have some lots sitting back, if I want to try one, but, hey, I'm not in no rush to do it, Yeah. What I consider a good flip, depends on what's the cost, the sale. It's like, I feel like I wouldn't, me personally, now this is just a personal decision. This don't have nothing to do with anybody else. I I can't see me doing a project that's gonna take me 4 to 6 months and only and at the end of the 4 to 6 months only making $15,000-$20,000. That's just me personally. Like some people might be good with that if they scaling, if they doing 20 a year. You know, you do 20 a year, you're making 20,000 of each property. I mean, you're making pretty good. But me personally, I don't feel like that's worth my time. You know, but like I said, I do my numbers. I do my numbers to where basically, I'm gonna just give you an example because I mean, each property is different. You can't expect to make $100,000 on a property you selling for 200, and you shouldn't expect to make $30,000 on a property you selling for 400. Depends on how much capital you have in it. Really, it determines what you want to make. But like say on the average, like my bread and butter been houses on the Westbank, 200,000 and less. So basically, if I can buy a house, buy it up, fix it, and have it completely ready to go at 130, 140, and I can sell it for 200 after my realtor fees, I can walk away with 45, 50. I do that all day, you know? So that's been my bread and butter, you know? Yeah. And like I say, everybody's number's different. So, you know, that's just me personally. Yeah.
Yeah, my question is gonna be something similar. What was your strategy? Because I noticed you said that you paid off your houses, and was it through fixing the flips, and what was that method of breaking down that profit and help you kind of scale the deal? Was it all through doing your flips, or did you refinance one, pay a couple of them off, and do flips? How did you work to get your paid off?
Just start, I always did trucking. I always had a job, and I always did other side stuff to make. So basically, I had cash coming in, and like I said, I had my job. So my job was enough to pretty much support, you know, my everyday expenses. So basically, just I saved up enough to do my first flip, did a second one, did a third one, took the profits, brought a rental, did another flip, you know, and like I said, I was able to keep all that money into the business, not having to pull none of it out to pay myself. I haven't paid myself for my business in 11 years. So it's like, you know, I'm about to start paying myself now, but you know, I wanted to grow the business to where I felt comfortable, and now I feel comfortable paying myself, you know? Yeah.
I got one more question. So what does the Winton Jackson today tell the 20-year-old Winton Jackson? What advice you have for him?
Man. Personal or business-wise?
Well, let's do business.
No, I'm gonna say
let's
nothing
do
personal.
business. Let's do business.
Oh, man. I'm thinking now, it's just, whew. The person now to tell a 20-year-old Winton?
Yep. What in real estate?
Or in real estate, I'm about to say, because if I had to tell her, I was
No.
invest
so in
everything in Amazon.
Yeah.
20-year-old, put every penny in Amazon. Right. Oh man, real estate, just start earlier. I feel like, I mean, if I did so much, I watched so much HGTV and just flipping Vegas. I watched so many TV shows, like I'm talking about 4 or 5 years straight.
Yeah.
From the time I was like 22, 23 to 28, just like, man, I want to do this. And just, so I definitely would tell myself start early. I feel if I would start, I would be way, because I know I know, like it's so hard to do your first deal, your second deal, your third deal. It's like, it took me 6 years to do 3 deals. In the last 6 years, the first 6 years to do 3 deals. The last 6 years between rentals and flips, I did over 30. So it's like just imagine if I would have started 6 years before that. You know what I'm saying? Like, where would I be? You know.
Right.
So it's like I would definitely tell myself start early.
Yep.
Start earlier.
For the wholesalers, for the realtors that have deals, how they get in touch with you? How they send deals to you?
Call me. I still use my cell phone. My cell phone always on my hip. Call. Most time text.
Okay.
Email.
Okay.
And you know, if you want to send it through Facebook, I have a Facebook. I don't have no other social medias. I've been saying I'm opening up an Instagram for 3 years, but
Well, now you got time to do it.
Yeah, right.
Now you
Yeah,
got time to do it. And he is in a Facebook group too, so
yeah, right,
you could just tag Winton Jackson
Right.
In the Facebook group. So you gonna hang around for a while for
Yeah.
for
I hang around
questions?
for a while,
Okay,
right.
all right. Everybody, put your hands together. That was good, bro.